What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news each and every day. I'm Drew Bosley, that's Scott Savage, and you can join us at InsideTheGame.ca, our YouTube channel at Inside the Game Official, podcast services thanks to our friends at Fired Up Network, and all those beautiful TV streaming platforms around the globe. Talk about Roku, Samsung Plus, Jinx, Esports TV, ESTV, and a whole lot more. Scott, before we get to what's going on the show today, dude, we've been dropping reviews left, right, and center. We dropped another one today, Wild Mender. Corey and I are talking about it. You and I are talking about another one tomorrow. We've got more coming up next week. Yo, there's always something here for us to catch, something for us to talk about. But lately, what are you playing, Scott?
Oh, lots of The Crew. I'm really liking Motorfest. I just can't put it down, and it doesn't seem to end.
Oh, that's cool, dude. There's the racing. That thing is a lot of fun. I've been really impressed with The Crew. I thought Motorfest really kind of nailed it well, and it took me by surprise, we'll say the least.
The collectibles. I was kind of angry to discover there's collectibles, but only because I know I'm going to get them all.
Oh, that's fair. And of course, we're playing some more Siege. We're playing Payday 3 when we can. Trying to, right? We talked about that on today's show as server errors continue to plague us. But either way, dude, let's get to it. What's on today's show?
We have cloud gaming to be as popular as Netflix, say some, and Banisher has been delayed. Might be a good decision, however. And Payday is perhaps removing the always online components.
I wonder if that's enough to solve the issues. I guess we'll get into that discussion, but first up, dude, cloud gaming on the rise? Maybe sooner than later. Let's talk about it. Scott, we're talking about the future here with topic number one, as Ubisoft CEO thinks cloud gaming will become as popular as Netflix. Dude, how can you not just go Stadia right off the top? Like, man, I can't help but keep bringing this up because Stadia had it. Dude, they were there. They led this, what, was it 2 years ago, 3 years ago? They're leading the cloud streaming, and now Yves Guillemot wants to step in and go, yeah, this is gonna be just as popular as Netflix. Well, then what happened? Oh man, I tell you. But let's get into it before I keep going. This is Grant Taylor Hill over at Insider Gaming. In a recent interview, the CEO of Ubisoft, Yves Guillemot, spoke highly about the future of cloud gaming, stressing how popular he thinks it's going to become, and going as far as to compare it to Netflix's successful model. He made this statement just weeks after Ubisoft put pen to paper and signed a deal with Microsoft focused on cloud streaming, which helped to put the Microsoft Activision acquisition one step closer to completion. Dude, that cannot happen fast enough, right?
Yeah, seriously, it's gone on so long.
Absolutely.
Makes a lot of sense. The conversation was about cloud gaming, however.
Well, we'll get to it in a second. In this interview with FT, Guillemot boldly predicted that cloud gaming will be as popular as Netflix in the future, and that the concept will follow a similar growth trend. When Netflix first said it was going to go into streaming, their shares fell a lot, and they were widely criticized. Today, we see what they have become is going to be the same with video games, but it will take time. But when it takes off, it will happen very quickly. He stressed that it'll take around 5 to 10 years for the real growth to take place, but he said that when it does finally hit, many gamers will be produced in the cloud. Many games will be produced in the cloud. And we talked about how the whole thing over with Stadia was that they're starting to build games already for the cloud, right? Dude, why am I going blank on... Oh goodness, I can picture her face. Jade Raymond. Man, I was going blank this morning. I need more coffee today. It's one of those. Jade Raymond was working on something that was going to put it in the cloud, right? Their games are going to be focused on the cloud, and that's how you would play their games. Stadia had that model, and this is just one step miss off of Stadia, but we're getting into this now situation. I can't believe, dude, I still can't get over the fact that Stadia is gone. I know I keep bringing it up, but I'm baffled now that Xbox is here going cloud stream. We've seen PlayStation jump. They're bringing over cloud streaming. Dude, they're even bringing in PlayStation Portal, which I cannot wait to get my hands on. PlayStation, hook us up. And we're getting one step closer to everything being in the cloud. We don't need a console anymore, right? GeForce Now is another form of that service, and how that kind of goes around. We've seen PlayStation, how they have PlayStation Now, which is no longer. It is now part of the whole PlayStation monopoly Plus
The tier list.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I hate that tier list. I really do. I don't like it whatsoever. I find it convoluted and just confusing, even for someone who's in the industry to figure out what model do I want. And it's just, yeah, it's a nightmare. But Scott, the future seems to be all about the cloud, doesn't it?
It does. You even see Nintendo taking steps a little bit beyond what their hardware can control, and I think that maybe indicates they're along the same thinking. But this whole UK CMA, they're very stickly about that whole cloud service monopoly issue there. So I think there is a lot of people across the planet that seem to be thinking the same thing. But to your point, Stadia was one of the biggest companies ever to try what seemed to be attainable, and they did it. They did a good job. It worked. It worked well. It just didn't have the commercial kind of support behind it. Something that maybe Microsoft and Xbox can do. But logically thinking, I see the line of thinking here, because the whole movie industry did the same thing. Nobody's bought movies for a very long time because you have Netflix. Yeah. And when Netflix needed a competitor, several sprung up. Oh, now it's almost the same as right? It's almost the same as how cable boxes work, or used to work rather, and how now you end up getting competitive services, and they're going to end up kind of conglomerating into their own packaging services. And I see Xbox and video games doing the exact same thing. It's just going to take a long time. Think about how long movies are around before we got to the Netflix era.
Well, yeah, right. And that's why Eves is talking about how 5 to 10 years is kind of where he sees that line up. Like, man, really? That long? Which I guess in that case then puts Stadia ahead of their time. And that was part of one of their demises, right? The other was the fact that they don't have what Microsoft does. And that's first party studios to produce stuff for the platform. Where I think that's where it's going to shine for Microsoft, and teaming up with Ubisoft and so forth, right? And Nintendo in that case, if they take on Activision Blizzard, as you mentioned, Nintendo's talking about, hey, we get to have Call of Duty. How are you going to have Call of Duty on? Well, through the cloud is how they can do that, right? No longer are you tied to the hardware specifications. It is just through the streaming. And Stadia had the functionality of, hey, you can stream this in 4K on any device. Like, that was the other side of it, right? Like, wow. So cloud allows you to get away from the console box. And dude, remember when Xbox Series X and the PS5 launch, parts were short everywhere across the board.
Yeah.
Now with the cloud, you don't have to worry about that. You're just on the cloud. Granted, dude, I remote play to my consoles often, almost on a nightly basis. Sometimes there's a glitch, dude. Like, that's not perfectly smooth. And I wonder if that's why Eves is talking about, hey, in 5 to 10 years, we'll be there.
That's what I'm thinking.
Internet speeds will then finally have picked up, right? We'll no longer be on 5G. We'll be on 6, 7, or whatever else by that point, and things will be a lot smoother. We're not going to worry about latency. Again, dude, Mortal Kombat 1, the last thing I want to do is have latency in a fighting game. That hurts.
No, you just cannot. That'll hold back any sort of cloud-based service, of course, and not even considering multiplayer. And get into some of these games that look really good. You can't run it on a Nintendo Switch, as we've seen. Talking about Red Dead Redemption 2 might happen. Well, that can only happen through a cloud, in my opinion. We'll have to see. But no, I think you're correct about the internet speed, because although I feel like we've been saying the same thing for 10 years now, the internet's going to get better soon.
Yeah, right? But you look at your internet situation, not to call you out there, Scott, but it sucks, right?
It's bad.
It lags you down. There's no way you could play on the cloud where you're at. That's the thing. You need to be at a certain standard across the board. Well, how do you do that? You're going to have to up everything. The technology is going to have to advance enough where companies are going to want to invest in gaming on the cloud so that they don't lose all the people who buy all the hardware and have the consoles at home are able still to play wherever they go. Dude, the cloud has me excited. I'm going away this weekend, and I'm going, do I pack up my Xbox? Right?
It would have just been a Stadia controller.
Well, that's Stadia controller in my phone. But I do have the Logitech G Cloud, but does the hotel have solid enough internet where I'm not going to be bogged down and I'm going to be all pixelated and chunking across my screen? So I'm like, yo, I think I'm packing up my Xbox. But until we get to that cloud situation where I feel more comfortable on a regular basis, dude, I just have a controller and away I go. The cloud has me excited, but yeah, Eve's Gone Mall might be right. 5 to 10 years, dude. We're still a ways off.
It would eliminate the entire generation of consoles. no longer are we doing console generation to generation fights. It's just the subscription service war.
Yep. Then who else steps into the ring? That's the other side of it, right? Like, as you mentioned, the minute Netflix,
Apple.
well, yeah, here comes Apple with their stuff. Netflix has gotten into gaming, right? And it's all through the more or less a streaming service. So yeah, the competition, dude, is only heating up, and it's already fierce. Scott, I think this is one of the best call outs this year. Banishers, Ghost of New Eden. That's right, don't nod. Their next title, which looks absolutely amazing, well, it's been delayed. And with good reason. This is what they actually said on their website, I'm going to go with. With so many unforgettable games in 2023, it's important that each of them shines brightly. Banishers, Ghost of New Eden is no exception. Yo, I'm pumped for this game. It looks creepy though, Scott, but I can't wait.
Brothers Grimm, we're going to have to get you through it.
That's right. Though finished and set for release, we want Red and Auntie's story to get the spotlight it deserves. As a result, with the team at Don't Nod, we took the decision to postpone its release on PC and consoles to February 13th, 2024, a perfect date for an epic love story. Dude, just before Valentine's Day. Thank you for your patience, Don't Nod, and Focus Home Entertainment. Absolutely. I think this is the best call. Because, dude, it was coming out in a swarm of hot titles this year. And they're right. Why put out what I think is going to be probably, if I'm predicting it, Scott, Banishers will be in the Game of the Year discussion.
I think that's likely. I think it certainly will. Does putting it in February take it too far out of this year's Game of the Year discussion?
Yeah, this year, right? Starts because Jeff Keighley's Game Awards and all that kind of stuff start up.
Is that December?
It is in December, but it starts up probably next month. So yeah, that's starting to come into play, right? And to get Banishers out there amongst everything else we played this year, dude, that'd be a tough competitive year. I'm curious to see what drops next year. And I'm trying to like back think of what we have. I know, dude, I keep going to Prince of Persia, but that I think it's going to be a nice little change of pace, but I don't think it's going to be a Game of the Year discussion. So, but I think February is going to be, once again, another hot month. I don't think it's going to be a slow month whatsoever. If you take a look at the release schedule, I'm going to go, actually, I'm looking it up right now. Dude, I wonder if there's anything that we know for 2024 that's going to be competitive, high-level AAA experiences that people often gravitate towards when it comes to that Game of the Year discussion, right? Like, you take a look at this year. Dude, this month alone, September, has been one of the hottest months in a very long time
in recorded history.
Well, and we keep talking about how just how this has been one of the best years in gaming. Now, granted, outside on the other side of that too, though, it's been one of the worst years for developers. That's because of so many layoffs and closures and things like that. It's been incredible how it's gone from such a hot topic of, yo, we've got so many great games and we're still not done yet. We still got Spider-Man coming out next. Alan Wake 2 is coming out next. Assassin's Creed Mirage. We've got Avatar
City
coming
Skylines.
out. Right.
I'm not going to forget that one either.
That's right. City Skylines too. But when you get into next year's discussion, like, you don't want to be in that. Who do you compete with? Like, man, oh man, you want to just shoot yourself in the foot? We talked about the release often when it comes to Titanfall getting released along other games, or Horizon going up against like Zelda, like
Zelda,
right? Like, why do that to yourselves? And Tears of the Kingdom is going to be in this year's discussion. So why not push Banishers, which I think is going to be a great game coming up next year? What do we have? We have Star Wars Outlaws, which looks incredible. But I'm trying to think if there's
not a direct
else,
competitor, however. There's been a lot of dark fantasy so far this year, and I don't think it's over with yet. So it does make sense. I can't remember exactly what the title was, but there's been several times over the last quarter, we'll say, where a game is coming out in September, and you go, why? It's a real head scratcher. It's just too full, and it's not wise. I like that they've put this, and I do agree with them in this statement. However, it's each of these great games needs space to shine brightly, and it's more of a consumer perspective that says that. Of course, they want you to buy the game, but each game is worthy of this, seemingly. Hopefully, this is another to that pile.
Yep.
But the idea is the customer can only handle so much too, and I know I'm feeling tired.
Dude,
not complaining.
No, Yeah, we've
But
just been
tired.
nonstop here, right? Like there's just so many titles drop. We look at our schedule and go, man, how are we gonna cover all this? And I think for the most part, we've done really well being a crew of 4 people to be able to cover as many games as we have. If you haven't seen all of our reviews, definitely check out InsideTheGame.ca. Check out our weekly show over across all the TV platforms around the globe. We are there each and every week bringing you the hottest reviews, and we've just been nonstop. Dude, we dropped 4 reviews this week. We got more that I can't talk about right now that I'm working on, and other things along that line, and just other things happening that just are keeping us and so many others within the media so busy that it's been incredible. And to see Banishers from Don't Nod, which man, I was so excited to play this game, but I will wait till February and then play it, because hopefully it's a little lighter in that seasonal kind of shift, which would be nice.
Yeah,
man. That's for sure. But no, I think, dude, this is a great move, and I can't wait. Banishers looks awesome.
I would love to give it more than 1 week of my time. I think this is the right decision.
Yep. Scott, woes continue as Starbreeze is still having server issues and kind of rethinking their thoughts on the whole online process. Payday 3 Studio looking to remove always online requirement as server issues plague the launch. Chris Scullion over at VGC. The game currently has mostly negative reviews on Steam due to the players having problems connecting to the servers. Although Payday 3 is a team-based online game, it's possible to play solo with AI bots as squad mates. However, since the game requires players to always be connected to the server, the game's online issues have been preventing this option too. Starbreeze has been attempting to improve server connectivity and matchmaking, but the studio has now released a statement saying it's looking into removing or reducing the always online requirement in the future. Payday 3 matchmaking infrastructure has not performed as tested and expected, the statement reads. Matchmaking software encountered an overseen error. Do we see this error all the time when we're trying to play, don't we?
Yeah, I got enough of that yesterday.
Oh, buddy. Yeah. Which made it unable to handle the massive influx of players. The issue caused an unrecoverable situation for Starbreeze's third-party matchmaking partner. Quote, a new version of the matchmaking server software was gradually deployed across all regions, leading to improved performance. However, a software update made by the partner during late Sunday again introduced instability to the matchmaking infrastructure. The partner continues to work to improve and stabilize Payday 3's online systems. The issue in question did not manifest during technical betas or early access due to the specificity of rapid user influx and load balancing. But they did a ton of tests, which I can appreciate, but they can't be prepared with those tests for the influx of Game Pass users. Everybody who bought the game on day one, whether that's PlayStation, PC, right? And then you enable crossplay. Like, everybody's online all at once. These closed beta tests have a small section of players. And then they've probably, done 10 times, if not more than that, when the initial launch dropped, and everybody tries to get online, and it just drops their server, right? Like,
This is
couldn't handle
one of
the
the
load.
benefits. One of the benefits of doing early access, I suppose, is kind of easing the balance, easing the load, and figuring out how to make that work before it hits the major pack of gamers jumping in.
Yeah,
I don't know
for
how
sure.
many people tried to jump onto Payday, but probably 1% of those got to play.
Well, yeah, which is unfortunate, right? But in the short term, this means Starbreeze focus is to ensure that the players experience. In the long term, this means evaluating a new partner for matchmaking services and making Payday 3 less dependent on online services. Man, oh man, that right there hurts the partner. It hurts the players. Like, dude, this is affecting everybody. It hurts Starbreeze. If this would have dropped and everybody has played, yo, this would have been perfect. We would have been hearing so many people dropped on day one playing in, and thanks Heisters, because they call us Heisters apparently. And yeah, which is weird because I watched a lot of their videos because I'm trying to keep up on this too, right? I want to know what's going on, dude. I just want to jump in and play. Yo, the way you have to party up, that system is horrible. That system sucks. And yeah, we're trying to get to our review, but we can't because we can't play, right?
Yeah.
That's like, we got codes. We're trying to play this game and we're just having issues. But when we do get in, yo, that's a whole other ball game. Like, we're there. But then once that match is over, you're up in the air whether or not you're going to stay as a party or you're going to bounce out. You're going to have to reload your game, and there's all these other issues.
Even when we were doing restarts too, because we
Horrible.
failed several times, there's a lot of bullets go flying. But even on the restart, we had to re-invite each other.
Yeah.
Sometimes that didn't work. I had to close the game, open the whole game up again. It's still just such a mess.
It's the way dude, the matchmaking setup. Like, you've had Payday 2 going for 10 years. What happened going into Payday 3 that you thought we'd try a different like method for getting friends in? First of all, turn off the whole crossplay, make it a functionality, which you can.
Let's get that out of here.
Right? And just allow me to go, hey, we're all partied up on Xbox, invite friends, invite the game, done. Nope, you got to go into their server, into their menu, then click one at a time, invite, get somebody in, try if they even get in. That's the other side. Sometimes we don't even get in. My brother's like, hey, I sent you an invite. I'm like, no, you didn't. Yeah, no, I did. I'm like, well, send it again, I guess, right? But after struggling, dude, how long are fans going to put up with this? If you, like us last night, what are we, 20 minutes trying to get into a game?
Yeah.
I have other things to do, right? And this is where it hurts Starbreeze, because now players start dropping, right? The server issues are a major concern. This is the longevity of keeping Payday alive, and it could kill them by not having this work properly. And the player base, like I said, will just drop off.
I want everybody to learn from this, and yet another launch with broken servers and issues. It's something needs to be fixed, whether it's always online requirement or the way you trickle launch a game. Not a fan of that one, but whatever works.
Yeah. I wonder if they would have had the ability to then play offline, if fans would have been, well, we can't party up, but at least I can play the game, right?
I would have been much better with that. It's kind of like if Rainbow Six just had Terrorist Hunt for a while. Well, I can make do with that. It's not what I want to do, but
yeah,
it keep me in the ecosphere.
It works, right? At the end of the day, at least that part works. And when people are over on PlayStation who have paid for the game can't play their game, man, refunds start happening, right? That's where the other side of it. It just hurts everybody all around, including Starbreeze. And we want Starbreeze to stick around for a long time. They've got a long roadmap for Payday 3, and now I'm very excited to get in. But, dude, we just need in.
That's right.
Scott, it must be the end of the show, because we got a couple games out today. What are we talking about?
We have the Crack Pet Show, Happy Tree Friends.
What?
That comes to PC, PS4, 5, Xbox One, X, and the Switch.
All right.
Happy Tree Friends gives me bad. Scary memories. We also have Hometopia on PC Early Access. And Paper Beast has now made its way to the PlayStation 5 on PSVR 2.
Nice. Dude, I played that on the PSVR 1. That was pretty cool. Nice to see it transition over. And that'll wrap up today's show, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. This has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news each and every day. We'll be back again tomorrow because there's always something to talk about. Until then, though, I'm Drew, that's Scott.
And we'll see you inside the game.